Good evening, welcome to all. So, this is the first session and the introduction to object oriented programming, that is Java. Before going to this Java, first of all, you have to know the basic thing why we are going to this Java programming. We already have C language. Then, what is the reason for moving into this Java language? What are the features that are provided by the Java compared to remaining programming languages? For example, assume for comparison we are using C language. So, what are the problems that are faced in C language? How do we overcome that problems by using Java? And at the same time, you have to know why Java becomes the most popular language and what are the applications, that is where we are using Java. So let us discuss all these things in this today's session. And at the same time, before going to session, I think you know the syllabus. So the syllabus is mainly divided into two parts. One is the core Java, that is the basic Java. Second one is advanced Java. Okay, core Java and then advanced Java. So generally, under core Java, the things, all the basic things. So identifier, operators, variables, class, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, exception handling, all the features of Java comes under this core Java, encapsulation, strings, so collections. Remember, collections is the one of the finest and important topic, that collections are also comes under this core Java. Okay, and if along with we also discuss the file handling, how do we handle the files in Java, multi-threading concepts, and some of the additional features of Java 8. So Java 8 contains some additional features like the interfaces. Already interfaces existed in Java 1.1 onwards, but in Java 8 some new features are added to interface, and we are added the lambda functions. We also discuss some of the APIs also now. These are the basic things of core Java. Now we are moving into advanced Java. The main things under advanced Java are J2EE. The main thing is J2EE. So under J2, along with J2EE, we will also discuss servlets. J2EE is one part, servlet, JSP, and then database connections. We will discuss all these things. Okay, so whatever it is, whenever we are moving into the session, I think madam already shared the syllabus copy to you, so we are not wasting the time by discussing the syllabus. Directly we will move to our introduction. We'll move to our introduction. First of all, if you want to write a program for addition of two numbers, not only in Java, for any language, what is the procedure to write a programming language? Remember, always you have to know the algorithm. If you know the algorithm, then it is very easy to write a program. What is an algorithm? Simple terms, a step-by-step procedure for solving a problem. Suppose I am given a problem to you. How do you solve the problem? So this is step number one, step number two, step number three. So if you are writing in stepwise sequence, that is called algorithm. Then what is the pseudocode? There is a difference between algorithm and pseudocode. Algorithm is generally written without any non-technical, sorry, without any technical terms. That means purely in theoretical manner, purely in theoretical manner. Coming to pseudocode, it follows some of the coding, that is some of the syntaxes of the programming language. Okay, and simply flowchart in the sense the pictorial representation. Flowchart is the pictorial representation. Once you know anything, the remaining things are very easy. Okay, directly I am not moving into the programming language. Remember, Here I am not moving to the programming language. Here we will start from scratch. That is the starting step. That is algorithm. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 more additional days. No problem. Even though it takes the number of days are extra, but the thing is you have to know each and every minute thing also. You got my point? Even though it takes some extra time, but the problem is not related to time. You have to learn each and every minute. That is the reason I started from the scratch. What is an algorithm? This is the main step for any programming language. So simply, an algorithm is a step-by-step procedure or step-by-step instructions to perform some action. So I am given a problem to you. To solve the problem, you have to follow some step by step. Now, what is the important thing? Just now I said algorithm does not use any technical terms. So simply algorithm is written using natural language. What is mean by natural language? Generally our English language, that is called natural language. Natural language, but not the programming language, but not by using the programming language. For example, if you want to perform addition of two numbers, what is the first step? Starting. Next you have to declare the two variables, number one and the number two, for input, and to store the result you are using third variable sum, and simply read the values, perform the addition, read the values, and assign this one, perform addition, and display sum. So whatever the procedure we are following, you have to know that is an algorithm. Now, pseudocode. Observe the difference between pseudocode and algorithm. Pseudocode contains some of the programming language instructions. Some of the programming language instructions. It does not exactly follow the syntax. It does not exactly follow the syntax, but something from the programming languages are extracted. For example, compare this one in algorithm start to. The last step is start to. We have to declare the variables, read the variables, addition, perform the addition like this. But here directly, see this one, ask the user for two values, save in this variable, perform addition, and save the result and print the result like this. Flow chart in the sense simply a pictorial representation. So these are some of the symbols for representing. So I will explain. This is one now. So the first step is completed. What is the first step? Before going to any programming language, before going to any programming language, you have to know how to write an algorithm. Once you know the writing of an algorithm, then you are moving into the programming. What is the programming language? Whether it is a C, C++, Java, Python, whatever it is, simply programming language is a set of commands or instructions. It follows some syntax to create a program or to develop a software. That means to develop a software, you have to write down some set of instructions in a particular order and execute those instructions, and then it produces some output. For example, if you are going to some any shopping mall, you purchase some item, they given a bill to you. So that software is developed by using a programming language. Suppose whenever you entered your items, automatically it takes the items along with prices and the final output is displayed. You got it? So, for example, if you are going to DMart, the first two item is scanned. So, approximately the cost is 100 rupees. Suppose if the second item is scanned, assume the cost of the second item is some 50 rupees. In the screen, automatically it is updated to 150. You got it? That is, you are writing set of instructions, it produces some output. So, that is called programming language. Who is the programmer? He is the person, he is the programmer. That is the person who create uses the programming language for developing a software. Suppose you are the programmer, you are writing the program, you are writing the program. Generally, we have different types of programming, mainly two types. One is low level programming language, second one is so we have two types of programming languages. One is low level language, second one is high level language. What is the meaning of this low level and high level language? First, I will explain in general terms, then I will go to this one. For example, you are understanding only English language. Assume you understand only English language. A computer can understand only binary language. Here I am not discussing about Java. Here I am not moving to Java. A computer can understand only binary language. Binary language is also called as mission language, but the user or the programmer knows only English language, assume. Then I am writing a program. How the computer understand this program? So coming to real scenario. For example, if I am the person, I know only English. I am given some speech to you. Suppose you are the person, you know only Hindi. I know only English, you know only Hindi. Then how do you understand my speech? Simply a translator is required. Okay, a translator is required. The translator converts my high level language, that is my English language, into Hindi language. In the similar sense, users writing the programs in high level language, users writing the programs in natural language are also called as high level language. By using a translator, we are converted into low level language. Okay, the point is translator for converting high level into low level. For example, one example of high level language is the natural language English is converted into machine language. Along with, we have one more language, that is assembly language. Assembly language. Okay, here, the translator is used to convert our English into assembly code. Assembly code in the sense it uses mnemonics. Simple terms, compiler. Compiler is the translator which is used to convert our high level language into mission level language. Suppose I will show you, this is my English language. This language is converted into binary language by using the translator compiler. Remember, we have two types of translators. One is compiler and second one is interpreter to convert high level language into mission level language. I will explain the difference later. Now, what is assembly language? For example, if you want to perform addition of two numbers, you are using the mnemonics like this: add 2 comma 3. It performs addition between the two numbers. It performs the addition between the two numbers. So to convert this high level language into assembly language, we are using the name of the translator is assembler. Okay, so the conversion is okay. These are the different high level languages: procedure oriented, problem oriented, object oriented, natural language. So we require this procedure oriented and object oriented. We require this procedure oriented and object oriented. Okay. Now coming to the same thing what we discussed, I will move a bit faster. So it is the mission code. Mission language is a collection of binary digits or bits that the computer reads and interprets. Machine language is the only language a computer is capable of understanding. A computer is capable of understanding. For example, if my text is hello world, it is very easy for the user to understand. It is hello world. But in computer point of view, the hello world is displayed in this fashion, like zeros, ones, zeros, ones, zeros, ones, like so on. Now, assembly language in the sense it is generally used to write the operating system. Here, assembler is used. Here, assembler is used. Now, this is my main important thing. Object-oriented programming language. Java is an object-oriented programming language. Before going to that object, first I will explain this procedure-oriented programming language and understand the differences between procedure-oriented and object-oriented. For example, C language. C is a procedure-oriented programming language. In C language, the program is divided in terms of procedures. A program is divided into procedures. Procedures are also called as functions. That is, you got the point. For example, my program size is some 100 lines. My program size is 100 lines. For example, in this program, here your aim is to perform addition of two numbers, subtraction of two numbers. Suppose some other operations have to be performed. Instead of writing all the operations in a single program, I am dividing the program into multiple parts. For example, the first function is used to perform addition like this. Here, this is my original program. Here, this is function 1, function 2, function 3. So, I am writing my logic as separate functions. Suppose at this particular point, if I require this logic, instead of writing the logic, simply I call this function. Suppose here I require this logic, I call this function. Here I require this logic, I call this function. You got it? Instead of writing this entire code here, I write the code in separate functions. Whenever I required, simply I call the function. Okay, that is procedure oriented programming. Mainly depends on functions. Mainly depends on the functions. Okay, see this one. The procedural code is the one that directly instructs a device and how to finish the task in logical steps. So this step in, so what is the order, in which order you have to move to finish the task, in which order you have to move to finish the task. Okay, that is procedure oriented, and C language follows this procedure oriented programming language. Coming to object oriented programming, it is completely different. In procedure oriented, we mainly concentrate on functions or procedures. But coming to object oriented programming, it mainly depends on the concept of object. What is mean by object? Any real world entity, anything that existed in the real world, that is object. Understand the word real world. Real world in the sense it is present in the current situation. For example, I am an object, I am existed. For example, apple is an object, banana is an object, whatever it is. Suppose a particular chair is an object. Anything that existed in the real world is an object. So object oriented programming, everything is defined in terms of objects, in terms of objects. Okay, now directly object is not possible. Compulsory within a program, you have to write a class. Remember the thing carefully. Whatever the program you would like to write, that program is written inside a class. and we are creating an object to access the members of the class, So Java supports object oriented programming along with JavaScript, C++, and Python supports object oriented programming. So right now I am giving just a basic point only, not in detail. So whenever we move on to the session, we will discuss in detail what is object-oriented programming, what are the features of object-oriented programming, each and everything. So this is the basic introduction session. Next, this is a problem oriented. The name specifies we are writing a class only for solving a problem. So the most important problem oriented language is COBOL. COBOL. So the COBOL is mainly designed for a business. For example, if you want to design for a single application, we are using this COBOL like this. And finally, what is the natural language? Our natural language. Suppose English, Russia, German, whatever it is, whatever the language we are speaking, that is called natural language. Now, what is this functional programming? The same thing. Function. What is mean by function? Remember, the function is a code that is used to perform some action. So simply, function is a block of code which perform some action. So the functional programming is mainly consists of the function. So this is not at all required. So everything is related to functions. Now what is our aim? Move to object-oriented programming. This is Java. So the popularity, according to popularity, Java plays in second position. Remember, even though Python is in the first position, but most of the companies nowadays also use Java because of high security. Even though Python plays a crucial role, but for example, this is popularity, that is most of the persons are willing to learn Python. Even though Python is willing to learn, Java plays a crucial role, right? Now move back to our Java concepts. So the basic things are completed, the very basic things are completed. From right now onwards we are moving into Java. The first step is who developed the Java, where developed Java, I think everyone So initially Java is developed by Sun Microsystems. Initially Java is developed by Sun Microsystem, but now Java is in the hands of Oracle. Java is in the hands of Oracle Corporation. So Java was developed in the year 1991. It's developed by scientists James Gosling and Patrick. It is a simple programming language. So it is a simple programming language. What is the meaning of simple? Simple meaning is easy to understand, easy to identify the errors, easy to correct those errors. That is debugging. Debugging. What is the meaning of debugging? Identification of errors and then correction of errors is combinedly together called as debugging. Now, so some of the main applications where Java becomes the most. Netflix, everyone knows this one. Netflix uses Java. Spotify for music. Spotify uses Java. Twitter uses Java. Minecraft, this is the games. I think you know games. So Minecraft uses Java. That means observe here. What is this one? Why I am using only these five? So Java used many places. The meaning is, so Netflix is a platform where you are using some web series, as movies, whatever it is. So such a type we are using Java. Social media platforms also we are using Java. For developing the games we are using Java. For music's type of situations we are using Java. That means That means Java used in anywhere. Java is used in anywhere. That is the meaning. Now, what are the features of Java? Features of Java. So, step by step, I will explain the features. Step by step, I will explain the features. The first feature is understand simple. The first one is simple. What is mean by simple? Simple in the sense it is very easy. The meaning is simple in the sense it is very easy to understand. Java is easy to understand, and why, how can you say that it is easy to understand? I will explain one point. Coming to C language, we are using the concept of explicit pointers. C language, we are using the concept of pointers. So it is very difficult to understand the concept of pointers. It is very difficult to understand the concept of pointers. Suppose coming to C++, C++ uses the concept of operator overloading. So in Java, there is no operator overloading. And once you know C++, Java also follows the same syntaxes. That means once you know C++, it is very easy to learn Java. At the same time, the difficult features of C, that is pointers and C++ operator overloading, are removed from Java. They are removed from Java. One more very important point is, for example, we are creating an object. So completely an object oriented programming. We are creating an object, right? And write a program creating an object and then close the program. So whenever we are creating an object, some memory is allocated. Compulsory at the time of closing the program, you have to re-release the memory and free the entire memory. But in Java, no need to do this one. Java has a default artist automatic garbage collection is possible in Java. Automatic garbage collection is available in Java. Okay. So what is the garbage collection? It automatically removes the unnecessary information. Automatically removes the unnecessary information. Okay, so I will write down. So coming to simple, what are the main things? We have no pointers, we have no pointers, no operator overloading, and the main advantage is garbage collection. Main advantage is garbage collection. Because of this, Java is a simple programming language. So simple is clear. Now, object oriented, the basic thing. So Java is an object oriented programming language. Object oriented. How can you say that? In Java, everything is treated as object. In Java, everything is treated as object. So an object contains, each and every object contains data and behavior. For example, simply apple is an object. Assume apple is an object. Apple object contains some data like color of the object, shape of the object, price, like, and so on. And what is behavior? The operations that you are performed on the apple. What are the operations? For example, a simple example, eating, slicing, like this. You got the meaning? So the meaning is everything is considered as object oriented. So some of the object-oriented principles are class, object, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. Okay, these are the some of the object-oriented principles. Now, the next one is high performance, high performance. The name specify performance compared to C language, that is compared to some other languages like C++. Assume C++. Compared to C++, Java is very, very fast under execution. But to be frankly, compared to C language, Java is somewhat slow. Somewhat slow. Here I will explain why. I will explain why. So previously I said 2 points. What are the 2 points? One is compiler, second one is interpreter, right? These are the two things, that is the two translators to convert high level language into mission level language. Then what is the difference? Why you are using two types? For example, you are writing a program, assume the program is 10 lines. The compiler, at a time, the 10 lines are converted into mission language. The compiler, at a time, the 10 lines are converted into mission language. But coming to interpreter, first it converts the first line. After completion of first line, there is no problem. Then it converts second line. There is no problem. Convert third line. If there is an error in the third line, it does not convert. Simply it shows the error to the user. You got it? Simply it shows the error to the user. So compiler interpreter, if C is the compiled language, so at a time conversion time is very less. For example, I am given a speech of 10 minutes. Understand very logically. I am given a speech of 10 minutes, but you are unable to understand the speech in English. So one translator is available. After completion of my 10 minutes of speech, after completion of my 10 minutes of speech, he will convert into your Hindi language. He takes another 10 minutes of time. But the same sense, in the 10 minutes of speech, first I am saying one sentence. Immediately the translator converts the one sentence into Hindi. Next I am saying the second sentence. He converts the second sentence into Hindi. You got it? It takes some lot of time, that is moving from a move to another move to and so on. So it takes some time. So Java is an interpreted language. Python is a compiled language. Python is a compiled language. Okay, so generally slower than this language, slower than this particular C language. You got it? But even though it is slower in this aspect, but in the execution aspect, in the remaining aspects, Java is a very, very, very high performed language. Okay, so what you are not always consider only one thing. You have to consider more than one factor. This is the one factor where Java is slow. We have some other factors at the time of execution. So from where you have to read the variable. For example, I will show you one more thing. Assume you are in the C language, you are writing the statement hash include stdio.h. This is the header file. Your program contains 10 lines. Assume this header file contains approximately 500 lines. Header file contains 500 lines. Your program is 10 lines. Then actually how many number of lines? You have to convert the total 510 lines. Even though it looks like as a single, whenever you are writing the statement, the complete header file, that is the entire thing, is placed within the program. But coming to Java, no need to place the entire thing. Only we are placing our required function. No problem. We will see that one in the next sessions. We will see that thing in the next sessions whenever we are moving into Java. Now, simple, object, high, secure. What is mean by secure language? That is Java is secure language. A simple, how can you say that secure in the sense? No, the very, very, whenever you are saying explicit pointer. So generally pointer is the variable to store address. Pointer is the variable to store address. So once you know the pointer, then we can hack the address. Once you know the pointer, we hack the address. But in Java, there is no concept of pointers. If there is no concept of pointer, then it is not possible to retrieve the address. So Java is a secure language. Java is a secure language. One more thing. For example, consider C++. Here you are writing your C++ program. So directly the C++ program is run in the operating system. So directly that operating system uses the C program. So here we have some runtime environment. Here we have some runtime environment. In that particular environment, C++ program is executed. But coming to Java, this is your Java application. The Java application not directly executed under OS. The Java application is executed in a virtual machine, that is called Java virtual machine. So Java is run inside JVM only. That means to provide more protection. To provide more protection. Okay. That is secure. That is secure. Next, architecture neutral. Architecture. What is mean by architecture? The system you are using, that is called architecture neutral. In the sense, suppose I will explain. Consider a programming, suppose C language. You have a data type integer. What is the size of integer? So generally you have a config. The size of integer is 2 bytes or 4 bytes. Understand and observe in when move to C language and observe the size of integer data type. Why? So the size of the data type depends on the mission we are using. Suppose if you are using a 32-bit mission, if you are using a 32-bit architecture mission, the size of integer is 2 bytes. Suppose if you are using a 64-bit architecture mission, the size of integer is 4 bytes. That means whenever the mission changes, here I am not discussing any OS. Whenever the mission changes, that is mission in the sense at the time of the laptop development, the time of laptop creation, the architecture, the data type sizes changes. But coming to Java, it does not depends on architecture. Whatever the architecture, whether it is a 32-bit mission or 64-bit mission, that completely same. No need of any further modifications. Any further modification. That is the reason we say that architecture neutral. Now, portable. What is mean by portable? Simple thing. The name specifies it is very easy to carry. Very easy to carry from one platform to another platform. What is the meaning? For example, before you understand this portable, I will explain one thing. For example, you are writing a Java program. Assume the name of the program is ABC. First, the Java program is saved with abc.java. abc.java. Now, whenever you are using the statement like this, Java C space abc.java, that is compilation step. Whenever this step is completed, internally abc.class, this file is generated in your system. This file is generated in the system. This is called bytecode. This name is also called as bytecode. Now you can copy this bytecode in any system. You can copy this bytecode in any system without any modifications. Without any modifications, this program is executed. That is portable. And clearly If you want to know clearly, the main important thing is, suppose if you are moving from one platform to another platform, suppose the new platform does not require any implementation. The new platform does not require any implementation. That is, for example, you are copy the bytecode in pendrive. Simply place the pendrive and execute the program. The bytecode is executed. No need to install any software. Okay, that is the thing. Portability. You have one more feature. The feature is platform independent. What is the platform independent? That is the program that we designed does not depends on the platform. If you are writing the program in Windows operating system and copy the same program without any modifications, it runs on the Mac OS. It runs on the Linux OS. You got the difference? Portability means not only moving, it does not require any implementation. It does not require any implementation. That is portability. Now, robust. So the meaning of robust is also called as strong. Robust meaning is also called as strong. How can you say that Java is a strong language? Simple point. Again, the same point. Java does not contains the concept of pointers. If it does not contains the concept of pointer means there is no problem of security. And at the same time, we have the garbage collection. We have automatic garbage collection. Automatic garbage collection. So big, not only this, the most important feature, exception handling. Exception handling. So exception handling means error handling. Java has the feature of exception handling. So based on these things, we can say that Java is a robust language. Java is a robust language. Now, dynamic. What is mean by dynamic? So we are writing everything inside a class. In the time of program execution, the classes are loaded into where? JVM. Always remember, the Java programs are loaded into the JVM, Java Virtual Machine, and then the program is executed. And then the program is executed. So here no need to load the program manually. Whenever a class is required, simply that class is loaded into Java. That class is loaded into JVM. That is dynamic. And the next one is multi-threading. What is mean by thread? For example, you are writing a program which consists of addition, subtraction, multiplication. We are writing as a separate function. So here addition is a thread, multiplication is a thread, division is a thread. Simply a thread is simply a program, a separate program. And multi-thread means more number of threads at a time, more than one thread is in execution. You got my point? For example, my program is divided into different threads. A thread is a small piece of program, not the entire program. Not the entire program. For example, my program contains 100 lines of code. In this, assume 20 lines of code is one thread. Another 50 lines of code is another thread. Another 30 lines of code is another thread, like this. Okay. So thread is a small program. Multi-threading means at a time more than one thread is in execution. That means what is the this point? More than one thread is in execution means parallel execution. Parallelly we are performing the operation. Parallelly we are performing the operation, that speed up the process. Thus speed up the process. Now the last one is distributed. So Java is allowed to create distributed applications. Distributed applications. I will explain the applications later. For example, what is mean by distributed? EJB. EJB, that is, it is a Java bean. Those are used for distributed applications. Simply distributed in the sense, for example, in my computer, I have some particular file. If you want to access a file from another machine, it is possible through internet. I think you understand the point. So we can able to access the files. We can able to access the files in the another machine on the internet, that is distributed. These are the features that are supported by Java. So next in the next session, so only the first thing completed is the features of Java. In the next session, we will move to where we are using Java application and then so on. Now, if you have any doubts, please ping the message or unmute yourself, and ask the doubts. Portable, yes, one question, portable. So portable, and again, any other questions? I will explain at a time. Okay, only one question. So now I will explain this question. For example, we are creating a Java program. That means we are creating an environment where the programs is executed. Now, this is the program in my architecture. This is my mission. This is my laptop. In this laptop, I am creating my program. Now this program is very easy to move to any operating system at the same time, any new architecture. That means you are writing a Java program only once, and you can run the program anywhere. You can run the program in anywhere. You got the point? Suppose Java has a slogan. What is the slogan? The slogan is write once and run anywhere. Write once and run anywhere. That is the thing. So whenever we are moving to another mission, no need to implement any software. No need to implement any software. Okay. So here in that case, we are not moving the Java program. Always understand, we are not placing the Java program. We are moving the bytecode. That is, what is bytecode? Whenever the Java program is executed in the first step, it generates the dot class file. The dot class file is executed on any platform without any implementation of software. That is called portable.